So we've talked about capping membership at 300. The reason for that is to allow us to be in a room like this and to actually engage and meet. We're at about 80 members today. And the next statements I'm about to make are not final, so your feedback will influence them. But I'm thinking 50 new members next year is maybe our cap. So that's one decision point. Distinguished engineers, newly appointed distinguished engineers, are automatic members of the academy. New members would be individuals who apply, or you can encourage someone to apply, but they have to apply. How that process would work is that each applicant would get a one-pager that they would fill out. You as a member can sponsor one and only one person. So every applicant has to have a sponsor, meaning one of you has to be a sponsor for a new member. Any objections to anything I've said so far? Yes. There's that box somewhere around here, right?
Some of us may have a wider scope of influence where one may be too limiting to some people, whereas say 2 or 3 for others. So would you consider like a graduated number of sponsorships?
I would consider, I'm just doing this off the cuff, so keep that in mind. Maybe SLT members and senior distinguished engineers should have 2 people they can sponsor, or 3. That would satisfy your request?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's just a question.
Okay, no, it's a good question.
Hey, Kerrie?
Yes.
I would suggest that they had more than one person recommended.
Let me give you one more data point and see if that changes, which was we're going to require a 2/3 vote for election. Does that change, Francois?
No.
Okay.
The reason for it is I think to be part of this group, they need to be known by basically.
That's a very good point. Okay.
It should be fairly easy.
Let's make that comment in the back.
Yeah.
I can't see your face because of the light, just so you know. That's okay.
I can try to stand up, but I almost wonder if it should be where, to Francois' point, there's 3 or 4 people within this academy nominating someone, but then they don't have to apply. This is really, I think this group would be able to identify those people that would be the best membership and bring them in. I raised that just as an alternative.
It's a great point, but let me just make sure I'm clear. The fact that they have a sponsor is basically, isn't that the same thing? That is, the individual is known to one of you, and they're saying, hey, I'd like to be a part of this membership. What's the difference? I guess I'm not getting it.
It's more around the, hey, I'd like to be part of this membership. We should be identifying and pulling out the best of the organization rather than, but in my opinion, and so maybe I'm.
No, I think I'm agreeing with you. I guess I'm just trying to see procedurally what the difference is. Because remember, one of the reasons I'm thinking of having the one-page application is so that all of you get to know more people. So that gives you a way of getting introduced to this new person. That's sort of the application process. Don?
Yeah, and I just got back, so I don't know if you've mentioned it yet, but the affiliate program.
I haven't mentioned that yet.
Okay, so I would think that would be a strong feeder into that whole system. But
Yep.
I would think that we would mandate that people would be participating in the affiliates before being recommended to be part of the core AoT, and that would be the way that they would get awareness across the wider organization.
I like the concept of the, let's just maybe back up and talk about the affiliates for a moment. The concept of affiliates was that we would have self-grown affiliates by location or whatever means by which they grow. So maybe some folks in Boston decide to create an academy affiliate. If they're successful and they can get a community going, it doesn't mean that the affiliates become members. But often what we might want to consider is that the affiliate chair gets invited to the academy meeting each year. But as you say, that could be the feeder as well. Doesn't have, I don't want to set an expectation that because you've established an affiliate that you or your members will be members of the academy. but it is trying to extend our reach to a broader community. So, so good point on that one. Again, what was I apologize, what was your name, the first gentleman?
That was Doug Thompson.
Oh, Doug. The lights are blinding me, I just can only see a blue shirt. So Doug, back to your point. So let me just walk through the whole process and see if, I like Francois' suggestion. So Francois, you're saying 2, 3?
2 or 3.
2 or 3?
I think it has to be more than
Okay, should we go with 2?
2 is fine.
Okay. So we're saying that new applicants have to have 2 sponsors. And are we also good with maybe, and we'll publish this, but maybe have a, I hate to make too much exceptions, but we're basically saying that and I'm not a voting member, by the way, so it's only the members who are actually, which is yourselves, who are actually voting in new members. But we're saying that basically each of you really only has, 2 people. Like let's say Julie, for example. Julie would have to, someone who wants to be a new member would find Julie, would find Justin, let's say, and basically your sponsorship is taken up by that one member, of that one applicant, correct? Okay, fair. You guys good with that?
Kerrie, this is Mike again. Over here.
Mike again, I'm sorry.
2/3 vote, is that still on the table?
It is on the table, yep.
Yeah, so if we were, personally, I think that's fairly extreme. I don't know how we could get a consistent and informed vote without a very crisp criteria for acceptance.
Yep.
And in the absence of that, it would be fairly subjective in terms of the 2/3 vote. I think that would be a very, maybe contentious kind of process for us, unless there's a really crisp criteria.
That's a good point, and I think having 2 sponsors changes my thinking on that a bit, because now with 2 sponsors as a requirement, there's more of a requirement that you be known to a larger part of the community.
Sponsors be separated across organizations rather than here to be
That's what you're suggesting, is that, so for example, if PEDS, you're saying, like, let's say PEDS, because I think PEDS is probably the largest represented group in the room, I think. That may not be true, but as an example, you'd have to have someone outside of PEDS be one of your 2 sponsors, would be the example there, right?
Yes, because we're supposed to be far-reaching, and if I'm just getting a sponsorship with the people I work with every day, that's not quite well-known across everybody, especially if we have a 2/3 vote.
Why don't we do this? I'm proposing again. Why don't we have 3, no voting, 3 sponsors. 1 has to be outside of your organization. You can have 2 within, but you got to have 3 sponsors. So that would mean that an applicant would have to navigate this channel of individuals to get support. What do you guys think of that?
Would there be minimum criteria? If there's no voting, is there still some criteria? Or just
There is criteria, so we published that, but that would be yourselves coming up with the criteria, agreeing on it, and the integrity would be you would not sponsor someone because they're a drinking buddy. You would, only sponsor someone who met the criteria.
not only because they're
Yes.
I like the idea. I think your math works out to only 30 new members then for the next year. There's 3 sponsors of 90 members would be 30 members.
Yeah. Which I think is still okay. Plus the new DEs, any new DEs. We're not going to have 30 new DEs. So what do you guys think of that? Is that, yes, Dominic?
I wonder about the steady state. So if maybe we don't need to worry about that at all right now, but if there's a cap of 300, does that limit also the TLCP program or the growth of the TLCP program? Because
Not at all.
DEs automatically get into it. And
Right.
if you have 300, technically somebody needs to die or leave the company, right?
That's a good point, and there is probably going to be an attrition. We'll get to
Yeah,
that.
so we will have attrition. So what would attrition be? Obviously, people will leave the company. If you choose not to participate in the academy, What does that mean not to participate? You never come to a meeting. You never participate in any of the work streams. That would be grounds for having a conversation. Is this something you really want to be a part of? And I don't know the window, but definitely 2 years of non-participation would cause us to remove you from the academy. I mean, does that seem fair?
Yeah, that's reasonable. 2 years.
Yeah.
Like a 1 year mark, if we haven't seen any participation, there would be a conversation.
Would that account for the DEs then as well? Like if
It would. Everyone can have a, if a DE doesn't participate, they also can be removed.
But they don't lose their distinguishing.
No, these are two different initiatives. So the TLCP is not tied in any way to what's tied only in one way to the AoT, and that's that newly appointed distinguished engineers become AoT members. That's the only connection. Okay? Yes?
I'm just wondering about the temporal issue that 3 people have to agree at the same time to nominate somebody, whereas maybe somebody might inadvertently work with multiple people here at different times. So maybe if there's a way that you could nominate more than one, but it's just like a standing queue. If somebody hits 3 nominations, including the condition that at least one of them is outside their organisation, then they get invited. And potentially then if their numbers are short, you could look at the people who got 2 or even 1 later on and make that exceptional case that maybe they should be invited as well.
Okay. So let's do the following. I think we have the grounds for a voting process, not to consume too much of this time. Let me put this in writing and we'll get a call going and engage how we finalize the voting. Because we have a lot of time for new members. Is that fair enough? Any other big burning issues on how we bring in new members? Or attrition? Okay. And I think that was it on my part. Anything I know?
Yeah, just a couple things. As far as